Hey, okay, so if you're a single mom and you're thinking about photography as maybe your side hustle that's going to carry you through on income, or maybe this is something you're going to transition to full time, I want to talk to you about mini sessions. I am a single mom. I became a single mom when I was pregnant, 2 months pregnant. And I knew I was already a photographer, and I knew that I needed to make some kind of transition that was going to like give me the ability not to go insane and to keep running my business and being a mom. So mini sessions is what I came around to, and I that's what I want to talk to you about today if you are a single mom and you're looking for that thing. Okay, so I have notes. You may see me scrolling a little bit, but what I want to talk to you about are the childcare aspect and then predictability. So, like, how does that year flow year after year after year? And then growing your revenue. And then, of course, like back end stuff like editing and batching and that sort of thing. And then how to move from like that side hustle zone to being full time. And then finally, why I think mini sessions are actually the most mom friendly way to run a photography business. Okay, so quick backstory. I already told you that I became a single mom when I was a couple months pregnant. I previously, just so you know, kind of like where I was coming from, I was running a photography business, and most of my sessions were like full, full art sessions. So 45 minutes to an hour and a half, kind of just depending on how long the kids would last. Um, and I was going to my clients' houses and selling in person, emphasizing like printed products and wall art. So those sales were really good. I typically did like four, five, and $6,000 sales. I don't think it would ever really go below like $2,500. So great money, but so unpredictable in terms of like when I was shooting, when the money was coming in, when I was making the sale, lots and lots and lots of like admin and handling as the products would come in. And I would install them. I did install a few, but I would like meet the installers there and like make sure everything was hung up. So lots of moving pieces, lots of like, you know, careful steps in the process. So that's kind of where I was coming from. And I had done some mini sessions, but I had not focused on them as my main business. So when I got pregnant and I knew that I was going to be a single mom, I I just thought I have to rework this so that I can do this on my own. Okay, so what's a mini session? Quick explanation if you don't know what it is. In photography land, it's really just about like the amount of time. Um, Full sessions are like 45 minutes to an hour. Mini sessions, I think, are like 10 to 20 minutes. And then there's a whole other land out there of micro sessions, which are like 1 to 5 minutes. So I do have other videos where I will talk about micro sessions, but today we're just going to focus on these minis because that is mainly where I have found like a lot of profitability and a lot of like kind of easy year over year growth and predictability for myself as a single mom. Okay, so thing number one, which we're all concerned about as single moms, is childcare. Now, this may be you too. So I have a grandmother that can watch my child, or I can hire a babysitter. And it depends on the day and the length of time on like who I'm going to ask or what I'm going to pay for. Um, the reason that I like minis is that I set those dates about 6 months to a year in advance. So, like, nothing is a surprise about them. Even the makeup days, I know what days on my calendar are going to be the makeup days. And then I start promoting the minis May, June, July, August. I start promoting them 4 months, 5 months, sorry, 5 months in advance of the first starting date. So all of that can all be pre-scheduled with either the grandmother or a babysitter. And here is the magical piece about minis. It takes not that many weekends to get that full-time income coming in. So I think this fall I'm doing six weekends, 6 weekends, yes. And not all of those have both the Saturday and the Sunday morning. Like some of them I'm just shooting one or the other day, and then some of them I'm shooting both days. So when you're talking about like cost, or like you have to ask somebody to watch your kiddo, it's actually not that many days, because you are maximizing those hours. Like you want those hours that you work on your mini sessions to be like $1,000 to $3,000 an hour in revenue. So it's okay. Like you can pay a babysitter, or you can, get a friend to do a favor for you, or ask a grandmother. And if you think about it in terms of childcare only, those, like getting child for care for those predictable 6 to 10 weekends in one season, is feels to a mom, to a single mom, it feels really, really different than having those shoots like spread out over the year. Like it just feels like less pieces and parts when you're like, boom, six, good, done, versus, oh my God, 52 weeks of like, either it has to happen during their daycare or during their school, or I have to get it covered, or, it's just less pieces and parts. Okay, number two, predictability. This is what I love so much, because I don't know about you. I mean, I have like one half of my brain is spreadsheets, and the other half is like splatters of paint. So they, here's the artist and here's the business person, and it kind of like is just like this. So when I became a mom, it was definitely more like the spreadsheet side of my brain was like, knock, knock, knock. I got to take over some more brain space here, because we're raising a human and we need predictability. So minis equal predictability for sure. And the main reason for that is that your clients start to be very, very loyal to you year after year, because they love you and they want the look, and they also are moms and they also want predictability. So what I'm finding is that the same batch of people, they get in touch, um, sometime close to the start of school, and they're ready to schedule their mini. And then because I'm doing ads and marketing and such, I'm adding some new names every year. And I just kind of rejoice when I see those new names in my inbox, because I'm like, yeah, I'm growing, it's working. But that is what you are going to start to do in your mini session business, is it kind of snowballs, and you get your momentum going, and there's like a tipping point where you're like, okay, cool, I know I've got these however many families you need every year. I've got a business. Okay, and then the other thing about predictability is that you will probably, well, not probably, I'm just going to tell you from my perspective. I know what my sales average is on the back end. So I know what my per client sales average is. Now, and I will tell you, I've been working on that. Like I work on it every single year to come up with something that is more attractive and more viable on the back end. Like I want to make them happy, and I want to find something that they like. So yes, digitals, yes, prints, but like what else can I package up and put in their galleries on the back end that they'll buy? So first couple of years that I did it, I think I was really not doing it right. I think my sales averages were probably around the 300 mark. And now they're around the 750 to 800 mark per client. And that includes the front end, like the booking fee. So when you can start predicting like, oh, I booked 100 clients, I know they spend 750, boom, 75K. Like that's a really nice feeling, especially for us single moms, to know that like I'm going to work hard, and I have this booked, but I kind of know what I'm going to make out of this. So long story short, once you get that momentum, you're not feast or famine. You're like high and low season. It's like rainy season, dry season, but you get your money done, your revenue generated, and then you know what you can spend on the low seasons like summer and January and February to get you through to the next season. Okay, so that ties us into revenue growth really, really easily. So, what you're going to do, whether you're going from side hustle or whether you're switching a photography business over to minis, is you are going to be able to set some really achievable goals for yourself every single year about how your revenue is going to grow. So, let's do real numbers. So, let's pretend that you shot 30 families this year. Next year, this time, so like fall to fall, your goal is going to be like 10% more or 15% more. And then the same for spring. And then the same for summer. Like I do know some photographers that do summer minis. I do not. I kind of have some stuff I might experiment with next summer. Um, but each of those like shooting seasons, that's going to be what you do. You'll set a tiny goal for yourself that is achievable, and then you'll see how you grow year after year. And that's easy to do, right? Like you're adding a little bit of money behind ads, or you're adding an extra weekend, or you're adding a mini session type. Like I do outdoor fall minis, Santa micro sessions. I'm adding a headshot event in the spring this year. Um, and then I've got heirlooms, personality portraits, and a motherhood event. So these are all things that you can do in your year to kind of like fluff out those numbers. And once you have a baseline, like you shot one of those years, the next year you're like, cool, beat it by 10%, beat it by 20%, whatever goal you want to set, you can do. So, what I'm getting at here for you, single mom, is that when you are running a mini and micro session business, it is about creating sustainability for yourself versus like heavy burnout or seasons that are like feast and famine. Okay, let's talk about the back end, like editing. So, for us single moms, like our bandwidth is just what our bandwidth is. You know, there's no other person in our house to sort of take out the trash or like make a meal or all those things that like another adult human person could do for us. They're just not there. Um, so here's how I think as a single mom about the back end batch editing. When I became a single mom, I said to myself, look, I'm going to have to find some editors. And that is what I did. Um, and by and large, that has worked really well. Now, small caveat, because I know as photographers, we're very, um, you know, precious sometimes about our editing look. And, you know, things don't always come back from the editor like totally perfect. But if you can get your editor to get it like 90% there, and then you're looking it over, doing QC, quality control, you're doing quality control, and you're just making sure, like, yes, I'm proud to send this gallery out, it's a win. I don't know if I will ever get to the point where an editor is like totally trustable and they edit it and put it in the gallery and send it, and I'm very happy with that. I think I'll, as an artist, I'll probably always want to look at it. um, but I would say single mom to single mom, try to cut out as much of that back end time as you can, just because I know that you as a business owner, you need to move to the next thing, whether it's like marketing the next set of minis or emailing clients or whatever. um, your bandwidth is not infinite. So I would highly suggest editors if you are doing a mini session business. Now, I will say the new AI tools are kind of amazing. I have only minimally used them. My editors are actually using them. So cool, great. But if you want to do a few little test runs with like Imagine, Aftershoot, Evoto, all of those do speed up the editing process a lot. But here's where I am with it. And I'm telling you this because this is like very like boots on the ground, real life information. My shoot ends and my childcare ends, right? The most I can really do is get those memory cards over into my computer and going over to my hard drive and making a Lightroom catalog. That's about it. Like, you know, as soon as I hit the door, I've got questions, the room is messy, I'm cleaning up, I'm thinking about dinner, like that's kind of it. The next time that I check in is going to be my next childcare hours, which usually like shoot on a weekend and then school starts on Monday. That's when I'm sitting down. I kind of want to be sending that gallery off and just knowing that like then I'm on to the next thing, you know? So mom to mom, I would say that's kind of like how life flows. Now, if you love editing and you want on Monday morning to like hop into your edit, good. And if you want to save the money, good. But that's just how I deal with it. But I will say, there have been seasons where it actually felt very like comforting and fun to me to turn on Netflix at night when my child was asleep, get a good snack, and like edit, 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 edit. And I have turned over galleries like by the next day that way. So yeah, it just depends on you, like where you feel life and like what's going to be rejuvenating to you. Um, like there have been seasons where that was very rejuvenating. Like it just feels fun to go look at your images that night. So you decide. Okay, let's talk about side hustle to full time. Okay, um, as a single mom. So, thing number one is if you are employed full time and you've got benefits and retirement and all that, I would say stay there. Um, because with mini sessions, there is going to be a point where you know what your income is going to be um, next year because it's so predictable. So I would stay where you are until you have that. Um, also, because when you're in that position where your paycheck is coming in and your benefits are set, you're going to be able to make decisions about your brand um, that are calmer, and you'll also have those like teeny tiny bits of investment capital at your disposal, hopefully, that you need in order to build up to the point where you launch full time. And I'll give you an example. So, like, let's say you're going to do Instagram and you want to do those automations where it's like comment the word mini and I'll send you the link. That's mini chat, and that is like $15 a month. So you don't want to be sweating that, right? You don't want to be sweating that $15 a month. You want to be like, yeah, I'm building this, let's do it. Like I know I'm going to be doing Instagram marketing this year. I need this tool. Boom, let's get it. So I would say stay where you are if you've got the full-time job. Now, second thing about moving from side hustle to full time is that this is a seasonal business. And even photography is a seasonal business if you're a family photographer. So, that said, I want you to go through a whole season at least where you see this is what I did in the spring, this is what I did in the fall. And you are able to say, okay, well, next year it's got to be about that, or better, a little bit better if I'm doing more marketing and pushing more on like getting more spots filled. Long story short, you're going to know when you can quit because you will have seen it in the past 12 months in your photography business, and you will know that amount is good for me. Minis are mom friendly. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, like, they're a low price, and so don't undervalue yourself. You're not. You're not undervaluing yourself. You're making $1,000 to $3,000 an hour when you show up to shoot. So, like in my book, that's not undervaluing yourself. And you have a following. Like you're developing your. For me, it's my email list. You're developing your email list of clients where anytime you want to do something, you're like, ooh, I want to try corporate headshot event this year. I want to do a Santa this year, or I want to do like a holiday non-Santa shoot this year. You tell your email list, and like all of a sudden you have clients coming out of the woodwork that you didn't have to go find individually on their own to book you for a single session. Okay, quick FAQs. Number one, are mini sessions profitable? Yes, they are super profitable if you work them right. So I am at $2,250 to $3,000 an hour right now. I think trying to get your mini sessions into the $1,000 an hour mark to start with, like first goal, that would be very good. So you show up on a Saturday for 3 hours and you make $3,000. Like that's a great day. Um, my new goal is kind of like 10K days. I want to show up and have it be a 10K day every time. I know I'm not going to hit it every time, but yeah, super profitable. You just have to learn how to do them. They're just a different model, but the money is definitely there. Okay, second question, how many can you shoot per day? So I already told you guys, my max is like 4 to 4.5 hours. I have done 5. I did do 5 hour mini sessions. There was one season 2 years ago where it was like a lot of 5 hour days, and it was very crushing. I'm not gonna lie, like that was too many hours. I really didn't like want to go tell the babysitter goodbye after those. I just wanted to like go to the coffee shop and have a matcha by myself. But 3 hours is great. So I would say 3 hours, two, three, or four every hour. So you decide. If it's your first year, I would start small. Maybe your mini sessions are even like 30 minutes a piece, and you just start feeling out like that rhythm of, timing it, saying goodbye at a certain mark, get the next person in, see kind of what your flow is. Um, so it's really up to you. But start small if it's your first year. Okay, next question. What about if your market is saturated? Look, I also shoot in a very saturated market. There are photographers everywhere. And there was actually one day that I was shooting mini sessions and I counted, there were 6 of us in the same park on the same Saturday morning. I mean, madness. But let me say this, for my saturated market, it's saturated because there are plenty of clients. So, like, yeah, there are like a ton of photographers, but there are also a ton of families. And I kind of believe in not getting competitive with your fellow photographers. Like, I think there's probably enough to go around to fill everybody up. Um, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think in a saturated market, what you're going to do is you're going to niche down. So, there may be a photographer over here that's doing light and airy, and you're not that. So you're going to do highly saturated post processing style. Or they're light and airy, you're light and airy, but they have kind of like formalized, maybe like more posy poses, and you're going to be the light and airy who's like telling poop jokes and your kids are all like laughing real laughs. You'll find it. If you're there, you'll find your niche, and then just start talking about your niche on all your channels, your social, and your blog. Okay, so if you want just like my quick and dirty, easy, inexpensive course on this whole process of like, how do I market them? How do I price them? How do I shoot them? How do I make the sale on the back end? You can take my mini session course called the High End Mini Session Blueprint. I'm going to put the link for it below, and just hop in there. I don't know if you're like me, but like as an artist person, I love to know how to do new things and like figure things out. But a lot of times I just want the full picture. Like, just show me start to finish how this works and what you do, and then I'll figure out how I do it, when I go do it. So that's what it is. It's just start to finish how I do it personally. You can take it, run with it, do it like I do it, or modify it and do it in a new way like you want to do it. So long story short, you can do this. You can build a thriving mini session side hustle or full-time business as a single mom. We just do it a little bit differently, when we don't have somebody cooking us dinner when we come home. So good luck. Let me know how it goes.